Hello friends, myself Mukesh Pandey. I am Assistant Professor of Botany in CU Shah Institute of Science, run by CU Ronak Foundation. Today we are going to discuss about the structure of flower and development of male gametophyte. First of all, when you will see the structure of a typical flower, you can see here all the parts are present together. Just like the sepal is there, petal is there, stamen is there, and carpel is also there. We know that the stamen is a male reproductive organ of the flower and carpel is the female reproductive organ of the flower. That means both the male and female reproductive organs are present in a same flower. That's why it is also called bisexual flower or hermaphrodite flower. Now in this topic we are going to discuss about the development of male gametophyte. That's why we will not focus on the carpel because it is a female part. That we will discuss in the next lecture. But in this lecture we are going to focus only on stamen. Now before starting the structure of stamen, just recall there are 4 cycles in a typical flower: calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Calyx is nothing, it is the group of sepals. Corolla is the group of petals. Androecium is the group of stamens. And in the same way, the gynoecium is the group of carpels. That you know very well. Now in the next slide, now we will focus on the structure of the stamen. In this structure you can see the stamen is made up of 2 parts. One is anther and second is filament. You can see the filament is a long slender structure. It is a stalk-like structure, while the anther is a bilobed structure which is present at the terminal end of the filament. The filament may be attached with the receptacle of the flower or it may be attached with the petal. Now one more thing we have to remember, that in the stamen the filament is the sterile part. That means it is not going to develop any reproductive cell, while the anther is a fertile part and it can develop the reproductive cell. That means we are talking about the pollen grains. The pollen grains will be developed from the anther, not from the filament, because the filament is the sterile part and anther is fertile part. So now we are interested only in the anther, which is going to develop the pollen grains. So first of all, if you are going to take the TS, that means transverse section of the anther, then you will be able to see the pollen sacs in this. You will be able to see the pollen sacs inside the anther. That pollen sacs are also known as microsporangium. So these are microsporangia which are present inside the anther. You can see it is a tetragonal structure, and at each corners the microsporangia or pollen sacs are present. Now if you will zoom out this structure, then you will be able to see such kind of cellular mass, cellular layers in the structure of anther. So clearly you can see the bilobed structure. Inside that, at each corners tetragonal part, you can see the round structure, spherical structure, which is known as microsporangium. One more thing you have to notice here: if you are going to study the layers of microsporangium, it is made up of 4 layers. So now look on the layers of microsporangium. So first of all, you can see the outermost layer, that is epidermis. Then below the epidermis there is endothecium. Below the endothecium there is middle layer. We are saying middle layers because more than 2 to 3 layers may be there as a middle layer. And the innermost layer, that is tapetum. The outer 3 layers, epidermis, endothecium and middle layer, they are responsible for protection and they are also helping in the dehiscence process to release the pollen grains from the anther. While the tapetum, which is innermost layer, is responsible to provide the nourishment or provide the nutrition to the developing pollen grains. So total 4 layers are there. And one more thing you have to notice, after the tapetum, the innermost part, the central part of the microsporangium is having some mass of the cell, group of the cell which are homogeneous, and that group of the cell is known as sporogenous tissue. This sporogenous tissue is also having, this sporogenous tissue you can see, this is also having some of the cells which are responsible to develop the pollen grains or microspores. So they are called microspore mother cells because they are going to give the birth to the microspores. So they are microspore mother cell. In short, they are called MMC. Otherwise, they are also known as PMC, that means pollen mother cell. So now we will talk about the microspore mother cell. Just zoom out this microspore mother cell. In this structure, you can see the PMC. This is one PMC, pollen mother cell, or MMC, microspore mother cell. This is diploid structure, that means 2N type of structure, and it is going to be divided by meiosis. We know that generally during the process of reproduction, the meiotic type of division occurs. So here also the PMC will be divided by meiosis. And we also know that the meiosis process occurs in 2 stages. One is meiosis 1 and second is meiosis 2. So by the process of meiosis 1, the pollen mother cell will be divided into 2 cells. So first of all, 2 daughter cells are produced from one mother cell. Then the meiosis 2 will occur and it will divide the 2 daughter cells into another 4 daughter cells. So finally from one mother cell, 4 daughter cells are produced by the process of meiosis. And now you can see the 4 cell structure which is called tetrad is produced. Then there will be separation in all the 4 cells and there will be secretion of the wall. Now they will become proper cell. This type of cells are nothing, they are pollen grains. You can see in each pollen grain, single nucleus is there. This is uninucleate and unicellular structure. You can notice from one PMC 4 pollen grains are produced. So in this manner, the PMC will be divided by meiosis and it will produce the group of cells which are pollen grains. So the number of pollen grains, number of pollen grains will be produced inside the microsporangium and it will be filled with the mass of pollen grains. Now if you will focus on the structure of pollen grain, when the pollen grain will be matured, at the time of maturity, you can see the pollen grain is having such kind of structure. Generally the pollen grains are spherical in structure, but they may be oval or oblong in structure. Here we can see in the mature pollen grain, 2 layers are there. The outermost layer is called exine and the inner layer is known as intine. The exine is made up of sporopollenin, which is one of the hardest materials, and it is not degraded by any enzyme. There is no effect of strong acid, alkali or high temperature on this sporopollenin. That's why the pollen grains can be preserved as a fossil because of the presence of sporopollenin. But at some intervals you can see there is absence of sporopollenin. That's why there is a pore, and this type of pores are called germ pores. Due to the presence of these germ pores, the pollen grains are able to develop the pollen tube and it can come outside from this germ pores during the process of germination of pollen grains. But first of all, we have to talk about the nucleus of the pollen grain. In the unmatured pollen grain, you can see the nucleus is one only, uninucleate structure was there, but now you can see there are 2 nuclei in this mature pollen grain. One is tube nucleus and second is generative nucleus. So how this process occurs? How it is occurring? Just see during the process of development of the male gametophyte in the next slide. Now you can see this is a simple structure. This is a pollen grain having single nucleus. But now in the next stage it is going to be developed. It is developing two nuclei. Two cells are produced inside that. One is tube cell and second one is generative cell. You can easily see the generative cell is very small compared to tube cell. Now this generative cell is individual and tube nucleus is there. Tube nucleus is responsible to provide the nourishment to the generative cell. When the process of germination will occur, the pollen tube will come outside from the exine, but it is developing from the intine. Remember that. It is developing from intine, the inner part, the inner layer, which is made up of cellulose and pectin. It is developing from intine, but it is coming out from the germ pores crossing the exine. So development of the pollen tube will be from intine, then it will come out from the germ pore where the sporopollenin was absent. That's why it is coming outside easily. So you can see the pollen tube is developing, and in this pollen tube both the nuclei are present together. One is tube nucleus and second is generative nucleus. During this journey, the generative nucleus will get nutrition from tube nucleus. And finally, you can see the generative cell is going to be divided into two by the process of mitosis. We know that in the mitosis, from one mother cell, two daughter cells are produced. So this generative cell will divide into two male cells. Actually, these two male cells are nothing, they are male gametes. That's why this stage, this process, this phenomenon is known as development of male gametophyte. So this is the process of male gametophyte development. Two male gametes are produced. Now these two male gametes are responsible to fertilize the female reproductive cells which will be present inside the carpel, that we will discuss in the next lecture. But in the next slide, just get the summary of all this process. First of all, you can see this is a flower which is having all the parts, from which we have taken only the anther part. Then there will be tiers of the anther. So you will be able to see the tetragonal structure, and at each corners round structures are there which are called microsporangium. And after that you can see the mass of the cell which is called sporogenous tissue is there, from which one will be pollen mother cell and it will be responsible to produce the pollen grains by the process of meiosis. So meiosis 1 and meiosis 2, finally 4 cells will be there, tetrad will be there, and then after that you can see the pollen grains are going to be released from the anther by the dehiscence process, and then they will reach to the stigma of the carpel, and this phenomenon will be pollination. This is called pollination, when they will reach to the stigma of the carpel. So this is the carpel that we will study in the next lecture. Thank you so much.